Welcome back to Flying Dutchman Cards. Today we have our next episode of the 1989 Topps Retrospective, and it's going to be my top 10. So on our last episode, you saw my brother Doug's.
I did it right.
His top 10. And so now we're going to go through my top 10. It's going to be awesome. So also shout out to Doug. If you didn't watch the last episode or haven't been following attention to the YouTube baseball card community, he has started his own YouTube channel, Don't Talk to Robots. So make sure you don't talk to robots, but you do subscribe to Don't Talk to Robots. So go ahead and check him out. So
I feel like it's not like ESPN2 to Flying Dutchman Cards. It's kind of like ESPN. What's the history one called?
Oh, classic.
Yeah. Well, it's like you go to Flying Dutchman Cards for your quality. You come to Don't Talk to Robots for like mispronounced names on baseball cards and craziness and not polished at all. Like I started playing the ukulele poorly.
Yes, that's awesome.
So it's kind of Flying Dutchman Cards is ESPN. Don't Talk to Robots is your public access channel, like that sports show.
And if you want the overproduced, like super shiny, like too good to be true because he spent 4 hours editing a video that 20 people watched, come to my channel. If you want something organic and authentic and like down to earth and just really getting to know the cards and just no stress, and love and life, check out Don't Talk to Robots. So the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So very nice. All right. So let's jump in. I want to make one comment too, because I didn't mention on the last one. I'm digging your hats. If people don't know, what team is that? Are you repping?
So it's 21, so I can wear a red hat again. This is the Chicago Dogs.
Nice.
It's an independent team in Chicago. I love that it's got a hot dog obviously on it. It's got the Chicago flag has 2 blue stripes and stars across it, so it's kind of mimicking that look.
Awesome.
And they're all 6-pointed stars. They all have different meanings. Google it. Chicago flag.
Boom. Knowledge.
It's one of the best city flags around.
Yeah.
Bellingham has a pretty cool city flag as well. But Chicago Dog. And anyway, so I love this. I am waiting for them to make they only have like hats that are red or like light blue. I want them to make like a darker, like a navy hat with this logo on it. And then it'd be like nice.
Choice. Nice.
Yeah.
As Ferris Bueller says in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, choice. So choice. Yes.
2019, Carlos Zambrano was trying to make a comeback on the Chicago Dogs. Got to see him warming up for a game. I think he might have gone in relief and also pitch hit. So
nice.
Oh, and also real quick, Chicago Dogs, 2020 opener, or was it 2019? COVID's got me messed up. But anyway, one of their season openers. Was it 2020?
2019.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
2019 season opener. They broke the world record for the most amount of people in hot dog costumes. So
nice.
I've got my hot dog costume and a few of my kids' hot dog costumes. They're all the same size.
Yes.
So maybe for an episode with the Flying Dutchman Cards, I'll need to wear my hot dog costume.
Yes. Maybe there's some type of bet we can do where you can lose and then have to wear it. So that'd be great.
Well, I think I'd lose and not wear it. Like I don't mind wearing
it. Nice. You lost. You can't wear that today.
So. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's jump in and check out my top 10. So we are going to get started here with number 10, Tim Rock Reigns. So the first part about this card that I love, it has a nickname, which is Rock, which is hilarious. And I just love that they use that on a card because it's like if his nickname was anything longer than Rock, totally not going to work. But because it's Rock, they're going to they can put it in there. So love that. I love this vintage of Expos uniforms with the baby blue. I feel like lots of teams did the baby blue, and I mean, and the Phillies and the Royal, some of those are well known for that, but I feel like the Expos are probably my favorite just because of the red, white, and blue, and just all around classic look. So, and he's got the belt buckle. He looks just like absolutely jacked right now. You know what I mean? As he's like in the on deck circle, just look like he's gonna get on base and steal 3 bases. So
cause some havoc.
Yeah. So
I'd be really interested because there's got to be one stadium where they took a lot of these photos,
right,
in the on deck circle in front of some green, padding, basically.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of the set that are, Ozzie Smith, Will Clark, this one. There's a lot of them.
Right.
Some of the lesser known name guys. So anyway, that's interesting. But yeah, this is the nice card. You got Rock Reigns, beautiful jersey, nice looking card.
And no ear flaps on his. On his.
He's got the ice cream helmet.
Yeah. So he's rocking.
He's going to Baskin Robbins after the game and filling that thing up.
Yes.
Actually, he's not, because he's looking trim.
I actually saw some at Dick's Sporting Goods. They had little Mariners ones, and I almost picked them up. And then I was like, I really don't need any more ice cream helmets. But
are they the current design or old school design?
They're the current design. So I was like,
okay.
Yes, they're old school. I'd been all over it, but
yeah, that's good job.
Nice. Okay, so number 9. I'm going to butcher his name. I'm going to make you say it because I'm too psyched out. Tony.
You just said it before.
I want to say it's
Oliva.
Oliva. There we go.
There you go. I saved you. I saved you. Tony Oliva.
Tony Oliva. There we go.
Not Tony Olivia.
I know. It's like there's certain names where I just I know who it is. Like if you said, I was like, I know who this player is. I would like know his career, all this stuff. It was like I cannot say his name. Like Carl Yastrzemski, literally took me 15 years to be able to say Yastrzemski. So Tony Oliva. So, Oliva. There we go. So
nice.
But this is one of my favorite, and this is part of the nostalgic part of just remembering pulling this card, and I don't even think I really understood that this was another card on this card. You know what I mean? You just kind of see the blue and you see the guy's face and you see his name and you're like, oh, whatever. Like I'd never seen 1964 Topps before, and I didn't really know, I didn't know what that was, but it was just this, just a different looking card. And when you're flipping through and you see kind of all the same designs and you pull one of these, and you're like, whoa, this is cool. So this is the one that kind of stuck out in my head the most. And so I was like, I'm going to rock this. I also love this Twins logo is by far my favorite. I'm super glad that they've gone back to that because it's just so classic. And I actually had this hat for a while because it's such a sweet logo. So that's kind of some of the things I like about this one.
Agreed. Much better than the M that they had on their hats for a long time.
Right.
I think too, not knowing that history, I think as well, back before, in 1989, you didn't have the internet. You couldn't look up what the 1964 set looked like. So if it wasn't a really popular card or a Mickey Mantle or something where you're seeing on different media or card shops and stuff like that, you have no exposure to these older designs.
Right. Yeah. So, the most you get was a little tiny picture in Beckett. They'd have one picture at the top. You're like, I have no idea what this is, but
that's one of the things I love now getting back into collecting is being able to search up designs and seeing early 80s designs that I had never seen before just because they weren't around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Card shops would have a lot of 86 to and on, when we were kids.
Right.
But I don't remember the 82 Donruss or, all
Right.
those kind of things. So
Yeah. Filling in all the gaps. That's why I feel like this last year I've just been going through and like learning all of the vintage designs because I'm like, okay, that one's 61, that one's 62, So,
yeah.
But very nice. All right, number 8. This is your number 10. It's moving up my number 8. So we talked about this on the last episode. If you didn't watch that one, go check that out. But love Jay Buhner. Really, yeah, like this is my favorite. I've mentioned this before. I have my old school Mariners jersey shirt. But I love these colors and I love the logo. Even though like when they switched from it, I was like so glad that they switched because it was like 93 and that was right when like the emerald, like the teal was like, ooh, this is so cool, But now looking back at it, like I think it's probably because like cards like this is my first memories of the Mariners. So I mean I like the trident, but it's like I really love the S, like on the Griffey, 89 upper deck. Just that look is very, very classic. So at least in my head. So.
And you have a Jay Buhner without the goatee that he sported later in his career.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of baby face Jay Buhner.
Yeah. Cool thing too about Jay Buhner, he used to do I think it was every year they do a fundraiser and he would have everyone like shave their heads like to get into the game. And so and then they did it like as like for for cancer patients for wigs and stuff like that. So they would have people grow their hair out and they would shave them all off and he would be shaving people's heads and stuff like that. So,
nice.
so you'd see like all these like kids running around. I mean, it was just kind of hilarious to see all these, probably want to go over well right now, this day and age, but it was a cool promotion back in the day. So
yeah.
Number 7, we have Greg Olson. So this is another one you'll probably notice from these ones because I was 7 when this set came out. So the ones that looked different were the ones I was like, ooh, this one's cool. So it probably started my love affair with like inserts, like in like collector's choice. Like I love collector's choice because it was like every other card looked completely different, So but yeah, so I love this one. This is kind of the the one that the team colors, his college colors match his major league team colors, which is cool. And then Greg Olson too. He was one of those rookies that he came out and he was kind of a shutdown closer and really awesome. And then he had 2 G's in his name. It was like one of those things where it's like, I feel like baseball, like in school you only know so many people's names because they're in your class or they're not in your class. But then once you get into baseball, you're like, wait, you could spell Greg with 2 G's? And that's like blowing your mind, like, what is going on? So it expanded. And then the best part, too, that there's actually another Greg Olson that was a contemporary of him, but he was a catcher for the Braves, but he spelled with 1 G. So there you go. So
you would be called Greg G.
Greg G. Yeah, Greg Good.
But a Greg O.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a nice looking card. Another, I think the number 1 draft picks of this set are pretty nice. And obviously the 2020 update came out with the same design, so it's nostalgic, kind of classic. It's funny when you look at the number 1 draft pick, it is kind of I don't know if campy would be the right word, but I mean, it's kind of, it's one of those things where you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, number 1 draft pick. But then if you look at it a little bit closer, you're kind of like, yeah, it's kind of just like a little bubbly, a little, funky, but it's cool. It's nice too seeing these like design on the 2020 cards with like really nice card stock, really nice, printing, and then the gloss on them, because you're like, wow, these cards would look real nice, redone with, nice pictures and stuff like that. So
yeah. Just counting down to is it 2023 or 2024 when they're going to be the inserts in Topps. So that's going to be awesome because it's 86 this year, 87, 88. Yeah. So
next year, look out for the chrome wood panels.
Yes, that'll be sweet. All right, number 6, another one that was on your list, another draft pick, another that I thought was awesome. So the Jim Abbott card. And so yeah, as this one is the same colors as we mentioned in the last one, I love this one because they're completely different colors. So, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah, and I think it's just like that kind of magenta-y, like pinky magenta that they use for the Angels. It's like that was definitely not their colors, but it's like all like I really like the Angels cards because it's just that extra little bit. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they're going through the palette. I mean, I can imagine this on a computer. Like you're going through the palette and you're like, no. Oh wait, that looks kind of cool. Just turn it up just a little bit. Obviously, they weren't doing it necessarily on a computer, but
it's interesting. There might be something with it. Might because CMYK.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of what is it? Magenta coming in through here. They might not have gotten the right mix or the right order of when they laid it down and stuff. And so you're getting too much of the red and the pink instead of the blue.
Right.
So that's another thing of seeing these cards in the 2020 set. The colors are like correct and sharp and nice. So
yeah. So
I think that these number 1 draft picks cards probably have some of the worst like backgrounds.
Right.
It's like this is probably like some dorm or some like the science wing in Michigan in the background.
Yeah. They're playing like in February because it's college baseball and it's like what? Yeah. So all right, moving on up. We got number 5. Couldn't leave out my favorite player growing up and my favorite player now, Ozzie Smith, on his All-Star card. And so just the All-Star cards to me are just super sweet looking. Just with the cutout was really cool, because that was something too. Like as a kid, you don't necessarily see that all the time, where someone would that Photoshop kind of cutout thing. Obviously, they didn't use Photoshop, but that kind of look with that blue background. And then too, it was just, you knew that when you got one of it, you could kind of peek at that blue. You knew you had a special card in your pack, which was really cool. So, and just classic Ozzie Smith. I feel like I want to say over 300 of his unique cards. I think I have over 400 something total because I have probably 15 of these cards. So, just really love the All-Star set, and this is I had to pick my favorite All-Star of all time, which was Ozzie Smith. So
there's some. I think we went over some of the duds in the All-Star set, like that one guy, I forget his name, but he was stretching.
Oh, Danny Jackson.
Yeah. This is definitely just the kind of a classic, Topps kind of profile photo. I've got like a small Aussie collection, and whenever I see an Aussie card, I don't feel like there's a bad photo of Ozzie Smith. Like he's always looking just like a stud. He's got the beard. There's not at that time. There's not like a lot of people rocking the full beard. You know what I mean? Look necessarily. He's got the chain. It's interesting too. Like you've got like blogs like UniWatch and stuff now.
Yeah.
Shout out to UniWatch blog. Nice. That really talk about the uniform and dissect all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting for me looking back at these cards and seeing like all these uniforms. Like that wasn't their away uniform. You know what I mean? That wasn't their home uniform. That was like either batting practice or spring training uniform or something like that. But it's kind of like this unknown. Like you're not going to see that as a game worn jersey.
Right.
But it's kind of a cool like look. Man, I hate like liking all these Central Division National League teams logos, but the STL lockup is just a classic. Right. The Chicago Fire Department has a lockup that's kind of similar.
That's awesome.
It's a nice look, and especially getting it on the hat and on the jersey. It's a cool look.
That's the thing. I wish they would do. I know like relic cards. They have like jersey relics and bat relics, which is majority of them. But to me, I've been thinking about. I was like, I want like an Ozzie Smith like glove relic. You know what I mean? Like a part of his glove, like that would be awesome. Or like a part like the bill of his hat. You know what I mean? Like let's expand these things. Or like a piece of his gold chain. It's like why can't we put that in? A relic card?
Gold chain. Or even this. I imagine. I can't see too closely on this photo, but I imagine this might be like a mesh jersey. So again,
that would be
some
awesome.
old school mesh. I feel like a lot of relics, at least the ones I've seen, are kind of like, what part of the jersey is that? Is that like their lycra undergarments or what is that?
Yeah. It's like, come on. Yeah. So okay, moving on up, we got number 4, Greg Jeffries.
Sweatband relics. There we go.
Yes. That's awesome. Yes, so sweatband relics, that would be sweet. With pre-sweated. So so we talked a bunch about this card on the Future Stars. Really, I just wanted to have both Gregs with a G. That was what was the biggest thing to me when I was 7 and 8. You can have a Greg with 2 Gs, So, but yeah, just love the love the Future Star. The Mets. Just everything about this card is just awesome. And then too, that this was just such a big card back in the day that Greg Jeffries was going to be the thing to set New York and the world on fire. And he was going to be this amazing player and gregarious and all these kinds of things. So, but
I feel like it's a joke on videos where people will pull this out of something and be like, "Oh, make sure to top load that. That's going to pay for stuff like that." So I made that joke on someone's channel because they opened up a pack of 89 and they got this card, and they're like, "Wait, why? Why should I do that?" And I'm like,
"You're like, no."
I'm like, "I'm old. You don't
So
get the jokes." It's like my one baseball joke that I have.
Yeah.
It didn't even work.
I know.
Yeah. I think we commented it on again, but I feel like too, I don't think as kids you notice how like either he just got back from running around or he's got a really like weird tan going on.
Yes, it's like what is going on? Well, and then the funny part too, it's like this picture looks really cool until you realize they're like, okay, just stand over by these empty stands and just kind of crouch down and we'll take a picture. You know what I mean? Like it's like like, how did you get from point A to point B? Like when you look at the picture, go look at the card, you're like, oh yeah, obviously Greg Jeffries was just in from a run and he decided to, but then it's like, wait, they had to like talk through this and probably took more than one shot. And it's like, so.
Yeah, it's like, okay, do you want to just stand there or do you want to do an exercise? Like, let me be prepared to be in the field.
Right.
But I'm on the warning track.
Right. Yeah. So I think this might be the card that gets the most shout outs because I knew we shouted out in the Future Stars video and in the intro, and so it's getting all kinds of.
It's probably one of the most popular cards of this set,
right?
It's kind of infamous of being like was supposed to be the best card of the set, and it ended up not being the best card of the set,
right? Well, and the hard part too is like when I look at this, like I don't look at him as a bust, right? When you look at this card, you're like, I go back to that part of my head, like. This card is super valuable, and I totally want this card because it's awesome. I don't think about like I could get 40 of these for $1. It's just like
I think I saw that some people for nostalgia sake were getting these like PSA graded.
Nice. That's awesome.
And so they do like PSA 10 does have a little bit of value of people being nostalgic for this card and for that time period, which is kind of funny. But
that's funny.
Nice.
All right.
No more Greg Jeffries.
No more Greg Jeffries. Number 3.
Whoa.
Your number 2. It's my number 3. So this continues a streak. Basically, Rock Reigns is the only base card that I've had so far. All the other ones have been some type of something. So, but yeah, got the Gary Sheffield because this was, if Greg Jeffries was amazing, like this is like just the next level up of like, and he actually was a star. And the hard part too is like, I feel like Gary Sheffield, I know there's, some, PED suspicion and things there, but like he had a pretty amazing career. Like after I feel like he came up, he was pretty good. He got labeled as a bust. And then like he ended up after that, he still had an amazing career. Like he like mashed for the rest of, you know what I mean? Like he drew a ton of walks, like just hit a bunch of home runs. I mean, like did all kinds of stuff. But he just, you know, he wasn't that shortstop that everyone thought he was going to be with the Brewers. You know, he got traded to the Padres, and it's like, you know. But really, his career after that is pretty amazing if you look through it. So
it's amazing how many players played for the Padres.
Right. Yeah, and that they didn't put it together. So,
yeah. We've talked a lot about this card.
Yeah,
awesome card. Yeah, one of probably the top. You know, I think anybody would put this in their, you know, top 10, but probably top 5 of this set. It's just a cool looking card for a great kind of, maybe not, you know, the Hall of Great or, you know, Hall of really good players from that era.
Yeah. So very nice. Moving on up, we got number 2, which was your number 1. So that means we're gonna have a new number 1. So nice. The one thing, yeah. So if you didn't watch the last video, Doug showed us his
I'm a very small person. This is an actual baseball card size.
Oh, it is. It's an actual, yes, it's Duotang, which was the brand back in the day.
Of what?
Of the folder. It's called the Duotang.
Duotang?
Yeah, look in the inside. So I actually have one too. This is not of Will Clark or in my top 10, but it does have to do with my favorite player, Ozzie Smith. But it's also the thing that's interesting. It's a like a on deck circle picture. So
yeah, it's the same. There was just a guy. Maybe it was at the All-Star game or something. Okay, real quick, who was the home team in 1989 All-Star game?
Well, no, it'd been 88.
Who was the home team?
89. So 89 was in Anaheim. That's when Bo Jackson hit a home run off of Rick Russell when Ronald Reagan was commentating. And then 1990 was Wrigley Field. So 88 would have been a National League team. So this would not be this.
Oh.
National League.
Oh, shoot. I thought we had solved it.
I know.
Because that would have been easy for Topps just to stand like right there and just get like all like we got, you know, all the best players, same shot.
The crazy part too is like that they got this to fit like exactly the same, like it's the same proportions. You know what I mean? Like it's the same scale. Like there's not like extra white space. Like it actually looks like a card, even though this would be, you know. But then on the back, it's like a little bit off for some reason. So I don't know what's up with that. But.
Well, you know what? Look at I can show you. See the distance between the top of Will Clark's head?
Yeah.
And then look at the card.
Oh, they did crop it a little bit. So they had to make these special.
Oh yeah, and then look at the 2. Look at the 2 on his back.
Oh. So it's completely different.
It's just a wider view.
It's a little bit wider. But then on the back, they were like, heck no, we're not redoing that. So they just added more black space at the bottom. And the top.
We should instead of our faces, we should just put this. This is what our channel is all about, right here.
1989 Topps. The best part too is mine says, I don't know if you can see that. It says Andy's folder. I wrote on that. I look back and I'm. Oh no, it doesn't say Andy's folder. It says award folder. So this is where I put my awards in. But so you can actually buy these on. You can still buy these on eBay. That's the best part about eBay. Rebuy your childhood dreams, all the things you messed up. So
this is a pretty nice looking Giants jersey.
Yeah.
Is this their away or is it their home? Because
it's their away.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then looking at it, and I'm like, is it white or is it gray?
Yeah. Yeah. It's gray. So
because we might have cracked the code if this was their home jersey, then we'd be like, oh, all these pictures in San Francisco.
Right. I do love the eye black for Will Clark. I feel like that was his look. That just made him just look 10 times meaner. And especially too, because it's like I feel like there's only a handful of players that kind of really like embrace that kind of like not like villain, but just like that like really intense part. You know, I mean, I remember Roger Clemens one time in the playoffs against Oakland. I think it was in '90. He wore like eye black he got thrown out like in the first inning because he was like so jacked up and all this stuff. But yeah, I just feel like that just makes you look 10 times tougher wearing eye black. So
yeah, definitely.
pretty awesome.
But next episode of your baseball card detective, you need to figure out what is the screen backdrop.
Right. Yeah.
What we really need to do is try to talk to someone who worked at Topps.
Right.
1989, 1988, 1990, and get the lowdown on all this stuff.
Yeah. We'll hook that up. We'll just figure out our connections.
All the fans of our retrospective are clamoring for the hard-nosed truth.
Tell us how it is. So, all right. So here we go. This is our last card that we're going to reveal, or maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's the last number 1 of my top 10 list, and it is. I can't believe you didn't have this on your list. This was one that I was like, it's got to be somewhere on your list. So
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Jose Canseco.
Jose.
So I had to put this one on mostly just because. So I got the Jose pennant behind me. I have another Jose pennant here. I have the mini pennant of it. I'm just a fan of 1989 Jose Canseco when he was probably totally, obviously heavily involved using PEDs. But as a 7-year-old, I had no idea what was going on. So. But I just love this one. I mean, part of it is like, it's not like it's more of like what it represents than what it like the actual card. You know what I mean? It's like he's wearing a warm up jersey. It's like, that's kind of weird. He's kind of looking, you know what I mean? But but just that, like, that it's Jose Canseco, right? Like that was just like, he was Mike Trout before Mike Trout, you know what I mean? Like he was, coming off of a 40-40 season, like he was just the biggest superstar ever. And I just remember like being such a fan of him, and like even now it's like I'll look back and, it's kind of the same thing like with Will Clark. It's like, I'm a huge Will Clark when he played for the Giants fan, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's like, I'm a huge Jose Canseco with the A's. It's like, after that, I was like, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's like, those like 88 to like 90, you know what I mean? Like right there, that run, those 3 years, it was like, that was everything that anyone ever talked about was Jose Canseco and how amazing he was. So, so that's kind of, to me, it's kind of the epitome of like my childhood. I feel like is so much tied to Jose Canseco for this weird reason of like, well, he was just the biggest star at that point. And so that's why I picked him as number 1. So, but I do like the red that they use, the contrasting red, just because his name pops out. Because the Athletics kind of blends in a little bit, which is maybe a little, maybe they were doing that on purpose because Jose Canseco was bigger than the Athletics. He transcended, and so they were like, I'm just kidding, that's totally just making it up. But so there.
Yeah, I think this is a solid choice. He was on the box.
Right. Yeah, so, that's the other thing too. Yep.
Yeah. I think I just kind of blocked him out. Honestly. I think one of the things I got into when I got back into collecting, like I by far have the most Darryl Strawberry cards of any of the cards I have.
Mm-hmm.
So for a long time, being a Darryl Strawberry collector is kind of like, just because of his, early 2000s, he was going through a lot of stuff,
right?
Legal stuff, not great stuff,
right?
Also, like you find out when he was on the Mets, all the stuff that was going on that was just backwards. But now he has like made changes. He like has his own like recovery center helping people with like drug and alcohol addictions, which I think is awesome. Like I'm really about like, I feel like we all have the opportunity to make changes in our lives and get over difficult situations and stuff like that. So I really resonate that was also like, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I want to collect Darryl Strawberry cards again.
Right.
don't feel like the shame about it, or like,
yeah,
I really liked him, but he's kind of, this awful person, but
right.
So then when it comes to Canseco, it's kind of like he's it's
exactly
like
the same.
1989 Jose Canseco is like you just want to kind of stay there,
right?
And remember those, like how big of a stud he was, at that moment, because then it's just like bonkers from there on out. So, but yeah, I think that's a solid. I think that's a solid choice for your number one.
Nice. Yep. Yeah. I feel like it's that part where, it's more the like to me collecting baseball cards, is that nostalgia and going back to when I was 7, you know what I mean, and 8, and like that's what this does for me. Even though it's like I know now it's like it's the escape, but then it's like I don't want to think about it too much because then I lose the escape, and I'm like, well, he's kind of the only thing that I'll give him credit for is I feel like he was the only one. You sent me a couple like a week ago video of Bernie Sanders like interrogating all the players like on the panel when they did it, and Jose Canseco was there, and Rafael Palmeiro and Curt Schilling, all these guys. And like Jose Canseco was the only one like actually telling the truth. You know what I mean? Like everyone else was just totally, lying through their teeth. Rafael Palmeiro saying like, "I've never done steroids," and like literally 10 days later he gets busted for steroids. You know what I mean? So it's like even though, so it's like I'll give him that he at least is honest, and I think probably exaggerate. I mean, he's probably using it for the wrong aim, but at least he's telling it how it is or what he did.
I remember at the time that panel was so uncomfortable. Now it's even more kind of cringy, just because if you're on a panel in front of the Senate, and the person that looks the best on that panel is Jose Canseco, then you're kind of in bad shape. Like
it's like like at the time it was like, oh, like this guy's crazy, I at least look good, and now it's like, well, no, actually it's completely opposite. Very nice. Well, that's going to wrap up my top 10 list, and so we've made it to the mountaintop. And so let us know in the comments, what did you think of my top 10? Who had the better top 10? You can check out Doug's list again and review it against mine. They were half of them. They were about the same, but we could say Will Clark is the probably the consensus number one because he was number 2 on my list. But
I think that's. So. I think all of those. I mean, I feel like you had some ones that might not be on everybody's top 10, but I think if you took both of our top 5s, that'd be probably most everybody's kind of like favorite cards. Unless you have somebody like you, like PC, like Roger Clemens or something like that.
Yeah. So, or Danny Jackson stretching, you thought that was amazing.
So I know you're about to talk about the last episode.
Right.
But I just had a thought. We haven't talked about the Topps traded set.
I know. That's what I was saying. We should just keep it rolling. Let's do Topps traded. We got the Griffey. We got Randy in the Mariners uniform. We got Omar Vizquel rookie card. I mean,
I picked up a lot on an auction of a bunch of the traded. I think they probably bought the traded to get the Griffey, because I didn't get the Griffey, but I got like the Nolan Ryan, the Deion Sanders, and they're nice because they're kind of like
it's on the other cardstock.
Yeah. So they look really nice. Like the sharp, like the Nolan Ryan is a nice looking card.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the 89. I don't remember what his base 89 looked like.
Because it's with the Astros. He's pitching on the Astros.
Yeah. So anyway.
Nice. Well, so we are, you would think that this is the end because we've gone through our top 10 list, but it's not. We're going to do at least one more, maybe a couple more.
We should just do one last. We'll hit on Topps traded. We'll tie everything up.
Yeah.
We talked about we got something else we got to talk about in our last episode.
Right.
But everybody loves spending a half hour talking about the 1989 Topps with Flying Dutchman cards. Don't talk to robots.
Yeah, your 2 favorite channels, breaking it all down for you. So awesome. Well, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Rock and roll.
Pew, 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 pew.